It's the Knicks, Jets, etc. podcast with Alex Trataros, John Meleka, and Raisi on the beat. Let's go.
Yo, what's good, everyone? Alex Trataros here with another Knicks episode of the Knicks, Jets, etc. podcast. And with me, as always, my buddy, my close pal, the man with the plan, the one and only John Meleka. But before we ask John how he's doing today, guys, you know what it is. We got to go through all housekeeping first. If you listen to this podcast on any audio listening platform, please make sure to subscribe. We're on Apple, Spotify, Google Play, Amazon, Alexa, Stitcher, you name it. We are there. If you listen to us on Apple or Spotify, please make sure to give us a 5-star rating. And if you listen to us on Apple Podcasts, please make sure to leave a comment. That just helps us out. We're also on YouTube now. So make sure to look for Knicks, Jets, etc. That's Knicks, Jets, etc. period. Find the homepage, subscribe, hit that notification bell. That way you know when a new episode drops. All right. And make sure to leave a comment. Hit the like button when you watch a video. We'll interact with you. We love to see what you guys got to say. You know, we put out YouTube shorts now too. We love the interaction with the Cam Reddish talk. If you haven't seen that clip, go back and see John's thoughts on Cam Reddish, whether or not he should stay or not. We got some other stuff coming out as well. Go check out the archives. But while you're also on that YouTube page, we got another podcast, Winning Picks Weekly. John, video producer Greg, they have to go down the NFL slate when the NFL season's in action. They give you their NBA takes for some TNT or ESPN games when they're on. But they just went down March Madness. They did the brackets. They gave you they gave you their takes on the overs and unders. All right, money line, you name it, they got you covered. Spreads, they got it all. They went down every single game, gave you all the details. And guess what? Maybe talks about doing another one and dropping another one this week. So
yeah, we got definitely got Chip Murphy coming on. We're gonna talk about the last games. We'll definitely gonna go through the Sweet 16. Those spreads are out, and we'll go from there. Hopefully, those brackets look a little bit better than our first brackets. But our champs are still alive. Our Final Fours are intact for the most part. So we're looking good, man. We're looking good. Long weekend with March Madness, but we're still here. We're alive.
Hey, man. As long as Wisconsin wins the entire thing, I'll be a happy man. Let's go, Johnny Davis.
How many times do we have to tell you Wisconsin lost, bro? What else do you want us to do? You keep telling me Wisconsin, they lost. What else do you want?
That's great.
You're in denial. We call this denial.
This is denial. Yes, this is the denial stage of just wanting Johnny Davis to win it all. And being a New York Knicks, damn it.
I don't know what you want me to do.
Change it. That's what I want you to do. Change it, John. I want you to go back in time. Get a time machine, then go back in time and go fix it. All right. Can you do that for me? Can you Thank you. Appreciate it. And then last and certainly not least, we're on all social media platforms. We are on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, you name it. We are there. John, how you doing, man? I just want to say that it's so funny. It's like it's like that SpongeBob meme. How many times do we got to teach you, old man? Wisconsin's out of here.
They lost, bro. I don't know what you want me to do. They lost.
Come on, man.
Big Ten stinks. SEC stinks. That's what we learned.
So who's your favorite? Who's the best basketball conference then, in your opinion? ACC? Pac-10?
I think they're. I don't know. I mean, this is a little off tangent for Knicks episode, but how do you judge?
Yeah, it's okay.
It is March Madness. How do you judge the best conference? Do you judge it by, their strength during the regular season, or how far they make it in the tournament? The coach excuse is to always bowing out early is they beat each other up during conference tournament play.
I'd probably go. Oh, sorry. I would probably go with the regular season, because in the tournament, I feel like anything can happen, especially when you get something like St. Peter's just coming out of nowhere. Mm-hmm. But we all know Doug is just a flamethrower, bro. So he's just carrying that. We all know what it is. But I feel like it's the regular season, because when you play, your division or conference rival, whatever you want to call it, numerous times, it kind of shows who's good because you can figure out matchups. It shows like the actual cerebral aspect of the game. When you're seeing a new opponent for the first time in a 64 team matchup and you have no idea what can come down. I mean, we're either talking about NBA prospects who are usually they're one and dones, right? Maybe max 2 years. So there's always a high turnover rate. Like you'll get a team like Kentucky take on a more senior team. I feel like that's in St. Peter's, right? The more senior team who understands the game, knows how to play the team basketball better, and who has one talent and just a good cerebral aspect of the game is always going to be just pure athleticism. I feel like that's just 9 out of 10 times.
Yeah, but they're all 5-star recruits in Kentucky. They should win the game.
They should. I mean, no, don't get me wrong. Like they should, yeah. But I feel like that there's just a maturity aspect that comes to the game. Like we even look at it in the NBA, right? We talk about veterans having maturity and so forth. There's always the exception where you have young guys that come into the league and take it by storm like John Morant. But I feel like in college basketball, that plays out more so than the NBA because 21, your body's more closer to being grown and fully developed than an 18-year-old coming into the league.
For sure. For sure. But I guess from the top down, I would say the Big Ten, even though Michigan is the only team left in there kind of holding it down. But I don't know, man. That's why the March Madness is the way it is. That's why everyone's brackets are busted. Because the teams that you just saw last week killing it are basically out at this point. And all the teams that kind of you never even heard of or weren't really that impressive are still alive. Like the U. I can't believe the U is out here right now, man. So, and even, Duke's still alive. So we'll see how it is. Virginia Tech's still holding it down, though. So see how that goes.
John, just one more question, though.
What's up?
How do you think Wisconsin's chances are at making it to the Final Four?
They're gonna win the chip, bro. I'll take any bet. I'll take any bet you got. Any bet you want, bro. I'll give you plus 10,000 odds. Can't find it anywhere better. I got you, bro.
Appreciate it. See, that's the support that we need. That's the support that I need. Oh man. Well, John, outside of college basketball and March Madness, if you're a Knicks fan, that's probably what you've been tuning into. Just looking at prospects and seeing top recruits coming into the NBA like Jaden Ivey, Johnny Davis, Mathurin, Chet, all those guys. There's still some Knicks basketball left.
My boy Chet.
Your boy Chet. John and Biggs is it's like I don't know what's the.
Oh, he's him. He's a mid-range king, bro.
No, he's a good shooter. He's got a sweet jumper.
What else?
He can shoot. He can shoot.
Yeah. And he gets big.
Not taking anything away from him. I'm just saying that is like it's like you and Jokic, you and any other big in this goddamn NBA world that we talk about. Isaiah Stewart.
Nasty. Yeah, he's a beast.
Yeah, you talk about Andre Drummond. You want me to keep going down the line of centers that you just adore? How do you feel about Rudy Gobert?
So yesterday I took about 25 people to the Knicks game yesterday, and we had pregame access, so we were right behind the Knicks bench during pregame warmups. And as soon as Rudy came out, everyone, first of all, OB's the fan favorite, right? Like the little kids, there was like a little basketball team that came behind us too. OB's the fan favorite, right? And then as soon as Rudy Gobert came out, everyone went nuts. I didn't realize that Rudy Gobert was the fan favorite, but he showed out on the court too, man. So I guess I can't really knock him, dude. He keeps winning Defensive Player of the Year. He really held it down, and we can get right into this Utah Jazz game, man, because anytime any player on the Knicks tried to even like think about going into the paint, Gobert was right there, dude.
Oh yeah.
And he solidifies the rotation spots for Utah. Like it's hard to penetrate them because there's a double team every time you go near the paint. So there's no reason to, have a double team on the outside. Gobert's just holding it down, and you can't pass behind him, and you can't shoot over him. He's a beast out there, and he actually has an offensive game. Like he puts his, ass in the basket. trying to get points. So I like Gobert, man. I have really nothing bad to say about Gobert. I mean, I know that he doesn't get along with Donovan Mitchell, who we all, like.
Supposedly. Yeah.
Supposedly. So I know there's a knock on him. Of course, the COVID situation.
Yeah.
There was that whole stigma with him. But, dude, Gobert's a beast. And I know Donovan Mitchell was, the sexy player yesterday, and that slam dunk was sick. And then behind the back, out of bounds, save all the way up to the 3-point line, seamless bullet to his player.
Bro.
Was sick. Like all those things. He had the quietest 40 points in the Garden I've ever seen in my life.
36 points, quiet.
It was. Besides that dunk, it really was quiet.
When I saw they had 36 points, I was like, he had what? When did that happen?
I noticed at 33, I'm pretty sure. I think they were like free throws or something. I was like, how many points does he have? It's like 32 and 33. I was like, oh my God, when? And so he wasn't even the catalyst, even though he had that sick dunk. It was Gobert. We cannot stop Gobert, bro. The centers are our kryptonite, dude. And I'm so sick of it. I honestly am. And dude, another guy that Mitch can't guard. Like, you want to talk about it? Let's talk about it. How many centers can our center not guard? I'm like, at what point are we going to be like, maybe he's not our starting center, that we shouldn't pay him money? I don't understand.
Yeah, I feel you on that. Yesterday was not a good showing for Mitchell Robinson going against Rudy Gobert. However, you did tout Rudy Gobert's accolades, and I wasn't surprised that he didn't do well against Rudy Gobert, because we're talking about one of the best defensive. We're talking about like one of the best defensive centers in the league. Okay, so Mitchell Robinson in that matchup, I keep saying, man, it's like Robert Williams last season for Mitchell Robinson this season. It would have to be after he gets paid, and next season he takes that Robert Williams type leap, just to be a consistent big man. But there's games that you just know Mitch is not going to show up for, whether that's Nikola Jokic, Miles Turner, Rudy Gobert is one of them. But I don't know. You still got to pay him. I don't even care if you get him into sign and trade for Jalen Brunson. I don't care what. I don't care. I don't care if he stays. You just got to pay him. You cannot let that man walk. You cannot let. You've had him for 4 seasons, and granted, this is a new front office that only saw him for 2 seasons, so they couldn't really make a full-on evaluation. You can make that argument, even though they should have been watching tape. Like, if you have Walt Perrin, all those guys, your scouting department, you should be making decisions like, well, he's done it throughout all this season. We're starting now to get an idea who he is mentally, since we're now in the building with him. You had to make a decision in the last 2 seasons. So if they let him walk, that's a bigger indictment on the front office. So you got to sign him. And look, when you go against Rudy Gobert, like I said, not shocked. You're talking about a 3-time NBA All-Star, All-NBA second team, 3-time All-NBA third team, 3-time NBA Defensive Player of the Year in 2018, 2019, 2021, 5-time NBA All-Defensive First Team from 2017 to 2021, NBA Rebounding Leader in 2022.
You know what he's not doing?
NBA Blocks Leader in 2017. Come on, man.
In pregame, he's practicing dribbling the ball and post-up moves. Mitch Robinson, I'm sorry to say, he missed maybe 15 to 20 layups in pregame, and then he just pops threes like he does every time. Like that's his pregame.
I feel so bad.
I'm getting so frustrated.
I mean, I'm at the point I'm just frustrated after last night's game. I don't know. You can't just be frustrated overall. And what bothers me for Mitch is that he had 2 seasons on the Knicks without really any developmental training. Like, think of Fizdale and that crew did nothing for him. And that's a season and a half of like wasted time. And then Mike Miller comes in here and we start to see some good flashes from Mitch. Last season, we started to see him come along. Then he had working back from injury this season. I feel sad for Mitch. I feel frustrated for him. And I just like frustrated as a fan that we've gotten to this point and we're actually in limbo of not knowing where he is, because the Knicks as an organization for 2 seasons while he's been here has mismanaged how he's supposed to have developed and to become an actual good big man. So he's getting better. We're losing Kenny Payne too. Congratulations to Kenny Payne being the head coach of Louisville now. Salute to you. And you heard how Leon Rose, Worldwide West, Julius Randle, all these guys were crying because he was leaving, and you could just feel that father type figure. You even heard about the stories from him coming from Kentucky and coming to the Knicks, and how Coach Cal is going to miss him, his intense workout drills that he has, the treadmill drill in particular, and staying in condition in top shape form for conditioning. And you can see that he's helped Mitch over these last 2 seasons. And so losing him is actually making me a little bit concerned of what is Mitch going to be moving forward without someone like that around him, right? And like when we were there, we saw him working with like Kenny Payne, just like getting him going and all that type of stuff. We're at a pregame for the Knicks playing the Timberwolves. Shout out to OmniFan and KFTV for that. But, man, Mitch is just like, I wasn't expecting anything, but that's what happens when you see like a center who's actually taking the second round and developing to be somebody. And you're like, what could have been or what can be? I don't even know. I don't even know how to feel about it at this point. But yo, man, Utah Jazz, that game, I don't know about you. And after watching the Knicks beat the Wizards, where I was so like, they got the win,
bro.
Almost lost it. So it was like, wow. Like we called that they would beat the Wizards. We called that game. The fact that it came down.
Freaking KP, bro.
And then, yeah, you have KP giving his sob story like, oh, I had good times. Hey, bro, how about you just, like I get that you grow and you can do all those things. Nah, no, fam. Sorry. I'm still waiting for the truth to come out. I'm still waiting. So you know what it is. But that game was frustrating watching the Wizards game because we almost blew it. And then this game, we have the second unit, cut the Utah Jazz's lead down to 4 points. And then we trot in Evan Fournier, Julius Randle, Alec Burks, after he takes out guys who are just killing it. And I'm looking around, and I'm like, yep, this is it. This is when we're going to lose. I just feel it in my bones. Sure enough, they did. And I'm just getting sick of this, man. I'm getting sick of these poor rotations. I'm getting sick of the up and down play from the team as a whole. But one Julius Randle in particular, even though he had a pretty good stretch, not necessarily like the greatest shooting wise, but he was giving you rebounds, assists, and getting his points. But I'm just frustrated, man. I'm just frustrated.
And he's the only one able to keep the defensive rotation. So I love that you started with talking about the rotation, how you were frustrated. So I was sitting in section 111. I had 25 people. I always spot excuse me, for some reason I always spot Chris Persianen. He's always in the section next to me. It's happened like, I don't know, maybe like 2-3 times now, but now it feels like a lot.
I hope you dapped him up, bro. I hope you dapped him up.
I always say what up to him, like it always happens. So it was funny. We were like basically tweeting at each other like at the time, and he was like, all right, we had a timeout with 2 minutes left in the first quarter.
Mm-hmm.
And he wanted Randle and Fournier to sit. I had a problem with that. Okay, I understand, right? You want time for OB, time to sit. I get it, but dude, Fournier was our entire offense in the first quarter. I'm pretty sure he had 11 points, and he had 3 threes. And then Randle was the only player holding it down in the paint and kind of playing that Rudy Gobert role where he was the only player guarding anyone, dude. Randle guards the best player on every single team. And we don't give him credit for that. And this is not a Julius Randle, apologist tour. Like I'm so annoyed with how he played yesterday. That was it was kind of like my last straw on that situation. The way he ended it was kind of disgusting. Honestly, he made us look really bad. The way that game ended, it just looked bad. And I understand from his point of view, to be fair, he said that he just wanted to go talk to the ref. I think his number was 39. And everybody approached him as if he was going to fight the ref, which made him mad, which then made it seem like he was fighting the ref and fighting Rudy Gobert. That's how he explained it, which I see that he's frustrated, but that's what happens with bad apple kids in the group. You know what I mean? I coach high school basketball, I coach college basketball. You know what I mean? We've all been in high school, public school, growing up. Those kids that act like that, they have issues. You know what I'm saying? They're frustrated. It's a mental thing. It's not that they're bad people. It's just that something is going on, and they're checked out of the situation. And I feel like that's what's happening here. Julius Randle is checked out of the situation. You could tell by how he's acting on the court, dude. He's just frustrated, man. And you could tell he's done with Knicks fans. Like, you know what I'm saying? And you could tell that Knicks fans are done with him, even like walking out of the tunnel, very subtle stuff. But he doesn't acknowledge anyone. He's pissed off. His wife is pissed off. He's pissed off. Like, we're at odds with each other. I get it. The question around, Knicks Twitter, courtesy of Knicks Jets, etc., is, whether you would take Randle or Tibbs next year, one or two, or either or both. And last episode, CK2K went off about it. He's the one that really brought it up.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of want to get your thoughts on it, man, because I know I guess like it really pertains to, I don't want to jump off the Jazz game. So I kind of want to ask you, like, what do you think about Randle or Tibbs? But we could even like kind of forward it to the Jazz game. Like, was that someone's fault? Like, whose fault was that? I don't think that was Tibbs' fault. I think it was game was all on Randle. Okay, for me, perfect. So for me, I'm glad we disagreed, because for me, yesterday was on Randle, man. Like,
it could be both, but
we were so close, bro. If RJ could not finish at the basket, which happens sometimes, right? If those drop, if IQ hits a couple free throws, if Randle hits a layup, I mean, all those little things, if that happens, like, we're winning the game. Forget the swings. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's why I can't blame Tibbs for that. And like him leaving in Fournier and Randle in the first quarter was a good move for me.
Yeah.
I mean, they took him out next possession. That was fine. What bothered me is how Randle played, bro. He had good possessions, but and I looked at the turnover rate. We were joking around with my friend who was there. We were like, yo, what's the turnover rate for the Knicks right now? And it wasn't bad. They were tied with Utah, but it just felt like we had 100.
No, it really did.
Forced turnovers. Like, I don't know what was going on.
It really did. And the reason I blame Tibbs is because you had this game in the wrap. If you really wanted to make a statement and make that playoff push that you've been asking for, right? That was the game. We're talking about that was the game where it comes down to fourth quarter, late game adjustments. You see that your team's doing it. They just brought it to 4 points. We've been down this road before where it's like, all right, we're in striking distance. And sure, we've seen the second unit be left in there for one game and fail. And then we saw them do it again against Detroit and win it the entire time. We've only had really 2, maybe 3 that I can't even remember. But that game, I would have rather just seen all those guys just work so hard to get it back up before putting those guys back in, because, and this is where I say you blame Randle. This is where I blame Tibbs. Your guy doesn't have it. He just does not have it. You just see it every single time. He's bringing up the ball. He's tripping over himself.
No problem. What do you want them to do? Use Rudy Gobert and Rudy Gay, who Rudy Gay was locking down Randle yesterday. Okay, what do you want him to do? You're gonna put in Mitch can't guard Gobert. Randle's the only semblance of someone who could put up a fight. So what are you gonna do? You're gonna have Jared Cousins and Obi Toppin?
Look, I know, man, if they're running it and they're doing well, you just let it go until you start to see.
Bro, Rudy Gobert, you cannot. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, I understand the sentiment. I'm with you. Play the young guys. Randle doesn't have it. Bench him. I'm with you on all those things. But at the end of the day, you cannot put, like, it's downright egregious to put in Obi Toppin and Jericho Sims to close out that game versus like Rudy Gay and Rudy Gobert, the way that they were playing us. We would have lost by 50. I mean, I know we ended up losing by 20 anyway, like at the end there, which is disgusting. I can't believe it looked like that. But I'm just saying, I think that he has no choice. You know what I'm saying?
I get your point. No, I truly understand your point. I understand where you're coming from. Because we've seen Randle play well in fourth quarters for a good stretch of the season so far, like especially in the second half after the All-Star break. But, and this is where the but comes in, you can't go to a guy who is not legitimately a closer. Like, I get the name value, I get the player value, I get all those things. But the one thing that he does not do well is close games. Yeah. This isn't last year's Randle. This is this season's Randle. He hasn't looked like that. And because of that, and because of the season that we've had and where we're at this point, it just does not make sense to keep going back to a guy that just doesn't have it. And I understand the front office standpoint too. If you're trying to trade this guy, you got to put him in the crunch time to show that he's still actually worth that contract. I get the quagmire that they're in. It's not easy. And it's not easy for Tibbs because that is the guy. He is supposed to be the guy. He's not supposed to be a number one option, but for this team, he is, unfortunately. So I understand why he goes back to him. But in a game like that, do I understand the whole Rudy Gobert and the Rudy Gay? Absolutely. I totally understand that. But he just did not have it. There's just some nights that don't have it. And there's some guys who just have an out-of-body experience. And you're like, oh, shit, I got to run with this guy, right? Like we complained about that last season when Austin Rivers had 24 points in like the first half. You're like, yo, don't take him out. He's out of body right now. This man's cooking. Everything he's touching is going in. You got to let it run. And that's how it felt with the last little bit of the game. You just got to let it run. Just let it run its course. At this point of the season, I know that Tibbs is trying to win games and make the play-in, but other guys could potentially give that to you. And when they're clicking like that, you have Immanuel Quickley who's doing it. Why are you pulling him out too? Why are you pulling him out for Burks? That makes no sense. And Fournier, like I get what Fournier did in the first half. Don't get me wrong. I get it. He's one of the best shooters on the team. First quarter. Sorry. First quarter. Yeah. Let me clarify. Yeah. First quarter. But now at the end of the game, where you have Immanuel Quickley going off, this is where it goes back. Like, oh, he had a good first quarter. If he had a good first quarter, you got to leave him in and do it. Well, if the guy's having a good fourth quarter, you got to leave him in and let him do it, right?
I mean, he's going to break our record for most three-pointers. And
I'm not even talking about Fournier, but I'm talking about Immanuel Quickley, who is having a good fourth quarter. Like, you got to leave him in.
Quickley drove me nuts yesterday. I mean,
everyone on this team drives me nuts. That's just the nature of the season.
I'll tell you why, though, dude. I'll tell you why. He played so well. He was getting to his spot. Him and RJ Barrett get to their spots. They don't necessarily finish. IQ finishes better than RJ. RJ's obviously improving. He just has to be consistent on it. But they both know exactly where they want to get to the floor. They know their sweet spots, and they get there, bro. They don't care. They'll get there. IQ also has his like Chris Paul, James Harden thing going, where he's able to get players like, or Goran Dragic. Yeah, like gets his butt, in front of them, and gets the foul. He really gets the defender out of position. He gets the defender where he wants them to be, which is a huge asset. Like he's really good. But dude, how are you gonna miss those free throws? Oh my goodness, that hurts so bad. That hurt. I know it was great that he got it. You know what I'm saying? So give it, take it away. I get it. But that's what frustrated me. He was right there. It's like Randle misses that layup. He was right there.
But you know what? Here's the thing. I can tolerate a second-year guy in the NBA. I can tolerate a third-year guy in the NBA trying to get their sea legs.
I'm not mad at IQ.
And that's growing experience. And that's a growing experience.
I'm just annoyed.
No, sure. But that's a growing experience for those type of guys, right? Julius Randle, 27, bro. 26, 27. You've been in the league. You've been around the block for a little bit. Especially for last season. I can't have you missing free throws in crunch time. I can't have you playing up and down like the way you are. I can't have you choosing games when you want to play offense and defense.
Also, dude, I can't have you actively
fighting reps. Here's the thing.
You took it right out of my. You took the words right out of my mouth. Like I've said this before, and I don't even think it's a tinfoil hat. Like refs have pregame meetings about the tendency of the game upcoming and players, and your reputation comes into play as DeMarcus Cousins. You know what I'm saying? As Draymond Green.
Thank you for bringing up that name. Thank you, because let me tell you something. No, but go ahead and finish. I'll say what I gotta say afterwards.
No, I'm just saying. Like there is a stigma now around the Knicks when Randle's on the floor, and you can see it. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, and thank you for bringing up Boogie Cousins, because I was having this thought today. Julius Randle's on-court theatrics when it comes to, especially with the referees. All right. Sometimes with teammates swinging arms away and just being angry, giving the thumbs down to the fans and so forth, telling them to F off, essentially what he's saying. He's giving me Boogie Cousins light vibes. And I say Boogie Cousins light because he is nothing like Boogie Cousins. Because Boogie Cousins, that man was that's an instant bucket, instant board machine. Man could dominate, okay? He was just on a crappy Sacramento Kings team. Julius Randle
is Boogie better than Randle?
Right now?
I'm just saying in general. I think they're pretty much like the same player.
I think they are the same player at this point. And I think just because of Boogie's injuries, Boogie didn't tear his Achilles, dude's still a beast.
I think prime Cousins and prime Randle are about the same.
No.
You think Cousins better?
Oh, hell yeah.
More dominant big man.
Bro, he
was
a stretch five that could back you down the paint.
That's true.
Like legitimately
bully games. He had bully games. Yeah.
And that's the thing, man. He actually knew how to bully you. Like Randle could be a bully. Randle chooses not to bully and be a jump shooter like Kobe Bryant. I'm like, bro, come on now. But anyway, I say that because you remember how Boogie Cousins he had everyone just like going against his theatrics and all those type of things. Like Randall's doing that. The thing about Boogie Cousins is that you'd have to say Boogie Cousins is, quote unquote, a head case, how there was always reported, but the but was like, but he's a bucket, like, but he'll get you points, but he's still an impact player on a team. I look at Julius Randle, I'm like, you could be an impact player some nights, but you're always complaining at the refs and everybody else, and you're talking to your teammates saying, Mitch, why did you miss that? Why didn't you get the loose ball? Why didn't you get guarded that guy? You're complaining about what everyone else should be doing, but you're not doing it. Okay, I remember Doris Burke when we're watching the Knicks play the Brooklyn Nets, and she's like, Julius Randle is on the strong side. He has to pick up Durant at that point. And you see him just like going, what happened? It's like, bro, like everyone's saying it, everyone sees it. You can't choose, and he's been doing it the entire season, when to play defense and then get on everybody else for it. It makes absolutely no sense. Which brings me to my point, John. I sent out a poll today. We got some traction. I don't know if you saw it. We got some traction. We got 780, just changed. 782 votes are now in with 15 hours left on this poll. And the question is, one of these guys has to go. Who should it be? Tom Thibodeau, because we all know Tom Thibodeau is now the new guy that.
Oh, that's not what you're gonna
say. So no,
okay,
the new guy that needs to get axed, or Julius Randle.
All right.
So I don't know if you want me to go first. I can go first.
Ahead.
I give you my all right. My answer is gonna be Julius Randle, like straight up Julius Randle. Like I cannot deal, and here's why. I think you can still win with Tom Thibodeau. I think he still has respect from a lot of the players in the locker room. Not that I'm like a beat report or anything, but the way I look at it is that everyone's still playing. You hear how players talk about whether it's Quentin Grimes, RJ Barrett, and how he can get the most out of them. You hear how Thibodeau can be critical of these guys, and they're always looking to improve, whether it's Quentin Grimes making a mistake on a defensive play and he comes back to improve, whether that's RJ Barrett. You had Tom Thibodeau at the beginning of the season say, we just need RJ to get back in the gym and do X, Y, and Z. And then you see RJ just shoot straight up like a rocket, right? Just the way his game style has just changed. Looking to be like, even though he still has the blinders on sometimes, he's able to take it to the rack. He's able to draw the defense. He's able to he's just improving his game. You just see the improvement. You see how Mitchell Robinson's gotten better. You see how everyone is just getting better on the team as a whole. I look at Julius Randle, and I think the theatrics of one arguing with the refs is not good for any developing player, because when someone looks at that, that means, oh, if that's acceptable on this team and in this league, I can do it too. Granted, we have guys like Immanuel Quickley who knows how to talk to a ref and to be like, okay, and does all the proper things, right? Even talking to the coach, you still see Quickley and Obi Toppin give Tibbs his respect too when they're on the court. And I feel like those type of young guys, even though everyone says Tibbs doesn't play young kids, I think he's actually the right coach to actually get young kids in line and playing basketball the right way. And that's why I would keep him around, because if you remove Julius Randle, and we've seen it, we've seen how the team plays. It doesn't look pretty. Okay. We saw what happened when Randle was out, but you see that there, everyone would joke like, oh, we're excited about ball movement and they're doing this, but those are the important things. You have to build the foundational things first to play like a team before you can actually start seeing that translate into wins. And I'd rather see that, because it looks like RJ is about to take another leap next season. I'd like to see what Cam Reddish can do with another wing. I'd like to see Obi Toppin get a little bit more playing time. So remove Randle from the situation, keep the head coach, because also I think even though people are getting upset where you talk about continuity, and you even hear that they don't, like, what does Tibbs do well? We see his rotation suck, this, that, and the third. I still think you cannot fire a guy after 2 years, especially after winning Coach of the Year. I find that to be a little like, if you win Coach of the Year, take this team from damn near out of the playoffs, and that will take this team that was, I should say, that had a playoff drought, and then you take them to the playoffs, and then you get fired the next year because everything that was supposed to be in your favor went wrong, whether it's not having Derrick Rose, Nerlens Noel being constantly injured, having two guys that don't fit your system. All right. Julius Randle, your top guy, choosing when he wants to play and when he doesn't want to play. Like, what else can you do? Like, seriously, what else can you do? You can talk about holding him accountable, X, Y, Z in the third. I feel like that's easier said than done. There is a delicate balance, but remove Julius Randle. Don't need a guy who's going to keep arguing with the refs, because we already see what the stink is on this team right now, because He's not going to get even though he'll get calls some nights just to make it look fair. There's going to be big games where he just does not get calls because of that. Just around the league, like it's just not good, man. I cannot have a guy on a team that chooses when he wants to play when he's supposed to be the number one option. Just does not look right. Does not sit right with the team, especially when you have one of the youngest teams in the league and you're trying to teach him what it takes to win.
Yeah.
Can't have that. Just cannot have that. 3, he's just inefficient this season. An inefficient player that holds on to the ball way too long, unlike what he did last season. Last season, he was the most team-oriented guy I've ever seen. This season, he's kind of gone back to the same habit of just, it's all on me. I got to do it. I'm the guy. I got to take all the shots. No, you don't. And then interacting with the fans. The thumbs down thing, I didn't really get irked by it. I know a lot of other people did get irked by it. But what does bother me about it is that you have the audacity to take all that energy and talk to the fans instead of channeling it in and putting it back out on the court. You could use that anger. You could use everything else and channel it in the right way, saying, you know what? I'm going to shut the fans up and let them, I'm going to show that I play. Because fans are going to be fans.
That's nice and poetic, but it's definitely that last point is where I'm going to push back. I agree with you. For me, it's Randle, that the guy that should be getting traded. It wouldn't be unprecedented to fire the coach of the year, right? There's some big names that happened to, like Byron Scott, George Karl, Avery Johnson,
Dwayne Casey.
That's the famous one, right? Mike Brown.
But for those guys, like they've been with the teams for a while before it happened, though. They were there for like I think minimum at least 3 seasons before that even happened.
Okay, yeah, that's a good point. So there's that aspect. I don't think it would be too unprecedented, but I like Tibbs, man. I think all the knocks on him are talk about unprecedented. They're just wrong. Like the not putting rookies thing that we went over. The only thing I understand that people are upset about is sometimes he's a little stingy with his rotations, but at the end of the day, they always turn out to be the right basketball moves. Like Alec Burks, our best point guard. It sucks to say it, right? But he is our best point guard that we have, right? Like I understand we wanted to play IQ, but Alec Burks was his most efficient point guard. You just have to do it. I get where he's coming from. You know what I mean? Jericho Sims, you have to let him grow up a little bit, play some basketball in Westchester.
And the thing about Jericho Sims, I dislike that everyone forgets is that he's on a 2-way, so he can't play more than 45 games.
Yeah,
he legit cannot play a little bit more than half the season. Like once he does that, he has to get a contract.
He was slated to play 0 games this year. Like with Mitch Robinson and Noel, he was supposed to play 0 games. You know what I mean? So all of a sudden, you got this guy learning the new system of a veteran head coach. Like he's supposed to come in and play 30 minutes a game. Like it's just ridiculous. So I'm really not on board with this is anything to do with Tibbs. I do, however, see why one of them has to go, because I do think that there's some sort of leniency that goes from Tibbs to Randle, and I don't think the rest of the team is cool with that.
And I don't think it should be I don't think it should be a cool thing at all. I mean, we heard about those things in LA where it was Kawhi coming in late and flying and so forth, and you saw what happened to the guys. Obviously, hold on. I know where you're going with this. Yeah. You're not trading Kawhi Leonard. I'm not saying that.
I'm not saying it's a work ethic thing for Randle. Like, he's coming late. It's not any of that stuff.
No. I'm not saying that, but it's the favoritism. It's the favoritism I'm talking about. Like with the Clippers, they were talking about favoritism where, he lives, I think it was like in San Diego or something like that. So he has to fly in so then the team can go out and all those type of things. And you had Montrezl Harrell and you had
Philip Rivers was doing that.
And you had Pat Beverly, who are not cool with it, apparently. Obviously, those 2 guys aren't on the team anymore. But you just hear how some of those things can impact a team. But unlike Kawhi Leonard, Julius Randle is not that caliber of a player. So you can't say, let me just get rid of these 2 guys and let Julius Randle stay because he's that franchise-altering player like Kawhi Leonard is. So,
yeah. I mean, it's just that he's checked out, dude. Like, you've kind of alluded to it where the new NBA free agency is really signing a contract and forcing a trade because of the money that the CBA allots, like the 25%, extra. So, or sometimes 30% if you match the incentives. So now the new free agency is effectively signing trades after like 1 or 2 years. So I understand, your sentiment here, where it's just like, yeah, it's not Kawhi's not walking through that door, but at this point, Randle is so checked out that you have to get rid of him, man. You can't have somebody checked out in your building. You honestly just can't, and it's infectious. It's infectious, and you could tell. Like, go look at Fournier. Go look at RJ, how they react.
Go look at Fournier at the end of that game where he was trying to hold Randle back. He's like, whatever, man. This is the same thing all the time. Exactly. He had that type of look.
And let me tell you something, man. After the game, Fournier and Gobert out of MSG on their scooters. You know what I'm saying? That's how they left. That's how they left the stadium together. You know what I mean? Like they're chilling. Like Fournier is fine. He's respected in the NBA, and you could just tell that they're gonna go talk trash about Randle. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, I'm not trying to put words in anybody's mouth, but like Fournier, like Gobert's like, yo, what's wrong with him? Like, why was he screaming all game? Why was he, and Fournier's like, bro, it's crazy over here. I can't believe this season. It's nuts. Like, that's definitely the conversation they're having. I know I am ultra speculating here, but it's just
tinfoil hat for sure.
Yeah, but just the way I see it with my eyes, like it really has no. This isn't narrative from a TV show debate, like a debate TV show. You know what I mean? This is just like what I'm seeing with my eyes. Like he's checked out. He checks out on plays. Right? Shout out to Ariel, who we had on the show, that always brings out those clips. So if you're asking me, dude, another thing is you can get something back if you get rid of Randle. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, like if you get rid of Tibbs, all you do is you lose a coach and you just lose continuity and you just suck. The guy who loves basketball, knows basketball, has been around the team, been around the media. Like you gain nothing if you lose him. But if you get rid of Randle, you get something back. You know what I mean? It's pretty simple for me. And one of those things back could be Donovan Mitchell. I want to point out something else, man. My favorite part of being around the Knicks, like behind the scenes, like not like when they're physically playing, is watching Leon Rose interact with not only Knicks players, but away players. Like Mike Conley and Leon Rose, best friends, bro. Best friends. You know what I'm trying to say? So I trust, I trust the process almost with getting rid of Randle and bringing in another star. I don't really trust the new coach in here. Like that's not where I want to go here. D Rose is going to come back. Tibbs is going to be more comfortable next year. Believe it or not, Noel is going to be back next year. I actually believe that. I actually think he's going to be our starting center. The more I think about it. Yeah, the more I do, I think he's going to be our starting center, and like Sims is going to be our backup. That's how I think it's the next year's center.
Can you imagine Knicks are like, yo, we need to get Mitchell Robinson's trade value up so we can do a sign and trade for Jalen Brunson. Take a sabbatical, Noel.
That's what I think is going to happen. Like, we're going to sign and trade Mitch for Jalen Brunson, and then like Noel's just going to still be here unless we find a way to get rid of him. But then we need a real center coming in. So I think it might just be Noel on a cheap contract. You know what I mean? Just to hang out there, and trade Randle for someone like a Donovan Mitchell. With a package. If you can,
Yeah, that's not happening, bro. I'm sorry.
What do you mean?
I don't see Donovan Mitchell coming here right now at the beginning of a 5-year extension.
Well, just wait until it's the sign and trade free agency, man. Just wait until he loses with Utah and demands a trade. Did you hear how he ended the last press conference?
No, I didn't actually.
The last 3 words he said?
What did he say?
Let's go Mets. I mean, the guy wants to be here. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, like he is all set with Utah. And if he wants to go and Leon Rose wants him, we're gonna give up the house for him. We'll give up Randle, IQ, Burks, who's on their version of Terrence Ross, right? That comes to town, actually plays well. Give him a bunch of that Jalen Ivey draft pick. That's gonna be gone if you want Mitchell. I think all that stuff.
I'll tell you this: if the Knicks somehow jump up into the lottery like the Lakers did, like top 4, like Ivy material,
yeah, you're gonna trade him for Donovan Mitchell.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah,
We're
exactly.
not, we're not,
I'm gonna
that's
cut
not
you
even a
off
question.
because if you said draft Joe Ivers, I would have went nuts.
No,
So yeah,
absolutely not.
it reminds me of that. My favorite. We can jump off this album. My favorite Family Guy clip when they have the box. Dude, you could have $10 million when he like wins the lottery or whatever.
Oh, you can take whatever's behind the door, which is a new boat.
You could have the boat, or you can have this box. He's like,
or
which
may have $1 million.
He's like, yeah,
Well,
but what if
oh,
it
no,
has
I
a
remember
boat?
that.
He's like, what if it has a boat? Like, it's exactly what it is. So for me, that's Donovan Mitchell all day. I think that's the move. If you give me, let me ask you, I know we're a little bit off the rails here in hypothetical land, but if you give me Jalen, if you give me Jalen,
this is what happens when the Knicks are like the Knicks right now.
I know. What if you give me Jalen Brunson, Donovan Mitchell, RJ Barrett, Obi Toppin, Noel? That's a terrible center power forward. But you think that that's a playing team just based on that? Obviously, other players would come, more depth. No, right? No, I know. So
you need another power forward. Can we get Royce O'Neal on that? No, can we get Royce O'Neal, or do you bring in
Rudy Gay probably?
Or how about do you get Pascal? You get Donovan Mitchell's boy. Pascal's pretty nice, bro.
Yeah, I mean, I think he would cost a lot, but
they're both Westchester boys.
Yeah, I know that would.
And then we can have him. We can have him.
Mo Bamba.
We can have Donovan Mitchell. Okay, all right. Now we're getting a little too wild. We're gonna have Pascal. We're gonna have Mitchell. We're gonna have Obi Toppin, who played in Westchester.
Yeah, that would be sick. So that's my only slight concern when we start talking about trading Randle. I mean, unless we do something like Randle for Miles Turner.
But if you get Donovan Mitchell,
I'm scared of a Melo deal. I'm telling you right now.
It's not even a Melo deal. It's not even a Melo deal. But the thing is, like, when you hear the name Donovan Mitchell, if you're another player, you think of, I want to go. Like, where is he playing? New York? Oh, hell yeah. Let me go to New York and go play with Donovan Mitchell. It sounds better than saying, yeah, let me play with Donovan Mitchell in Utah.
Well, listen, it's Mitchell and RJ. And that's a nice little 1-2.
Yeah.
Honestly. And
it is.
And I wonder if you just make them the starting point guard, shooting guard.
That's the thing too. I don't even think you need Jalen Brunson at that point, because we saw Donovan Mitchell play point, and at that point, at that point, no pun intended. But when you watch how he played, I'm fine with two. Yeah, it's two scoring guys, but you can figure out somebody else who can be that connector and figure out how to facilitate. Even Donovan Mitchell, he was moving the ball around, man. He had 6 assists yesterday. He knows how to swing.
He's the point guard, man. He makes Mike Conley on the bench, and he is literally just the point guard. You know what I mean? I agree with you. If we could trade Randle for like a Miles Turner up in here, and get a center on the opposite side and figure out something else with Mitch, I wouldn't mind that either. I know we are in total hypothetical land.
I saw Miles Turner's TikTok with trying to date that woman with the dirty knife.
I don't know what the hell you're talking about. And
you haven't seen that video?
I also don't want to. That was the weirdest intro ever.
It's gross.
I thought you were going to talk about his knee. I thought you were talking about his injuries. I have no idea.
No, I was just trying to be funny, and it failed.
No, I don't know what's going on with his. I don't know what's going on with his social media.
He has a great Lego connection.
All right. I don't know what that means, but you're scaring me a little. And I still see the most likely thing happening is Mitch Robinson for the Jalen Brunson thing. There's a lot of smoke there.
Yeah, and shout out to you for calling that Donovan Mitchell article day of by Mark Berman. You knew that one was coming a mile away.
Bro, the
John
guy
smelled that. John smelled that one a mile away.
I've been around the block here, folks. I've read too many articles, too many newspapers. I've seen this go. The West Coast teams come once a year, and they have those in the drafts. Like when there's nothing to do on a random Tuesday night on a day off, they just go back and they write that article. Like, all right, let me just get the Jazz article going. Like, you know what I'm saying?
What did I write last year? Oh, let's just do that thing again.
Let me get the Donovan Mitchell to the Knicks stuff. Like, I'll find a quote in here and I'll be all set. And I'll be hyped. Like when the deadline's due and I have like a 75% written draft. I just got to write like a couple things here, a couple things there. Donovan Mitchell to the Knicks, and it's going to go viral. Like, it's ridiculous, man. It's so frustrating. And it's like, oh, look at the New York Knicks. You guys want everybody. The only franchise that does do that is the Jets. The Jets fans. Okay, we want everybody. I agree. It's so annoying, right? Anybody that touches the market or anybody that's a trade, it has
Allen Robinson.
to go to the Jets, and then they cry and go nuts when we don't get him. That's the Jets fans. The Knicks fans.
You know who I remember? You know who I remember the most? We could have had the best 1-2 defensive backs with Darrell Revis and Nnamdi Asomugha.
Oh my God.
Nnamdi Asomugha. I was like, oh my God, guys. And that was during the lockout. And so everyone was like, is Nnamdi coming here? It's like, bro, Nnamdi Asomugha.
Everybody, every single free agent should come here. But that's more the Jets fans that get mad. The Knicks fans, they don't really get upset when players don't come here.
No.
It's more that the narrative comes. Yeah.
It's either they do want them to come here or they want their own homegrown talent to be the superstars.
No, but I'm saying the narrative is built around the hype and the player, and then it kind of just gets tossed on us when we don't get him. You know what I mean? I don't really think that the Knicks fans get stirred up.
No,
with getting disappointed and getting a player. Like, for example, Lonzo Ball, right? Big target for all of Knicks fans everywhere. Nobody, has batted an eye since he was on Chicago. I know, there's some injury news with him that just came out.
Yeah,
which is also unfortunate.
Knee not doing well. There's no, it wasn't that, what was it? The surgery went well. There's no setback, right? There. I think so. Yeah, I think so.
Shout out Lonzo. Knee brothers.
But there's no setback in the injury, but he can't put a lot of pressure while running on the knee. He feels.
I feel you, Lonzo. I feel you, bro.
This guy. But yeah, so look, man, they got Caruso back. They just need Lonzo Ball back to have that stout defense that they had. But
Caruso had a dope interview on the JJ Redick podcast.
I gotta check that one out still. I still gotta check that one out.
And Luka too. Was Caruso on JJ? I can't even.
He was.
Yeah, and Luka too. Luka Doncic was a good one too.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, man. Look,
are we gonna win these next 2 games, bro? Are you gonna give? Is there any? Is there a defibrillator life here? Because this is it.
I already told you 1-1. 1-1. We're being Atlanta, losing to Charlotte.
Okay, well that'll be fine. That would still keep us alive technically because Atlanta
we're gonna beat Atlanta. We're gonna beat Atlanta.
Atlanta's 5 games out right now. If we beat Atlanta, we're 4 games out.
Yes. We're going to beat Atlanta. We're going to lose to Charlotte. Charlotte's they're a good home team. They're a very good home team.
I'm pretty sure are they losing at home right now?
Are they losing at home right now?
No, they're up. They're up by 3 with 1 minute left versus the Pelicans at home. They were down for a while. I was scoreboard.
Yeah, watching. I mean they're on a 4-game winning streak. They beat the Hawks to 116 to 106.
Right, so that's over. Is that okay? I got you. All right. So
John's like, stop killing my dreams. Stop killing my dreams.
No, because I'm realistic about it to a certain extent. And I understand that Hornets are getting a little far apart. But that I've been talking about the Hawks here, which is sweet redemption, right? If we if we beat them to be in the play-in. But it's more than that, man. It's their schedule. That's why I'm excited about it. They have an intriguing schedule coming up, and you think the Knicks have a tough road ahead for them?
Actually, not anymore. Knicks do not have a tough road to finish out. They were at 17 for a while, according to Tankathon. They're now tied with 9, the 9th spot with the Lakers and New Orleans for a tough remaining schedule.
So they have the Knicks coming up, which obviously it's on TNT too, which is scary, but obviously the Knicks have to win that. So it'll be 4 games out. And then they play Detroit, which obviously they should win. But then they play Golden State, Indiana, Oklahoma City, Cleveland, Brooklyn, Toronto, Washington, Miami, Houston. To me, I'll give them 1.
Oh, I'm sorry. I read this wrong. Sorry. The Knicks have I read the wrong thing. I was reading draft positioning. The Knicks have the 20th difficult schedule to end the season. The Atlanta Hawks. Actually, the Hawks have the 29th. They're not, according to Tankathon.
Okay. So they got 1. I would say they're gonna lose. They're gonna beat Detroit, right? They're gonna beat Indiana.
Yeah.
They're gonna beat Houston. That's at the end here. and I'll give them beating Washington. So,
But they should lose to all those top 5 teams because they got the Nets, Raptors,
that's what I'm
Cavs,
saying. Yeah, those are all.
Heat,
Yeah, exactly.
Warriors.
Exactly.
They should
So that's only,
they should go
it's only
500.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more wins for them in the whole season. If they get 5 more wins, Alex, can we get in there? Tell me, Mr. Tratacaster. Like that's why I want to be realistic here. If they only get 5 more wins here, do the Knicks have a chance of making this playing game? And if you're screaming right now about the tank, just close this.
Yeah,
close this YouTube and go home.
This is not even. We're so out of tank position right now. It is.
Yeah, exactly. Tell me, man. No.
I'm sorry,
how
man.
many games? How many games would we have to win if they win 5 more?
Probably. Well, if they win 5 more, we're a game and a half. We're a game behind them, right?
We'd be 4 games behind them.
Oh, if we beat Atlanta, how many games would we have to win?
We're 4 games behind them, and then they win 5 more games. So that we have 1, 2, 3.
So we'd have to win.
We have 10 games remaining.
What's that? We have to win.
What's that math? What? We have to gain.
If they win 5,
we'd have to win 9, right? 7. Oh no. Oh, they can't win 5. Okay. Yeah. Okay. This is a problem. All right. Yeah. I see. Okay. Yeah, it's getting out of hand here. Okay. I have done the math live. It's getting out of hand.
we saw the smoke coming from John's ears. It was burning. He figured it out. This is a very tough situation.
It's getting out of hand here. Really, no more losses. No more, like when the Knicks really can't lose any more games. It's just like an issue here.
Yo, you're gonna have to tell. Hey, Knicks, you can't lose to the Nets. Oh, not that one. You can't lose to the Hornets. Oh, you got them twice. Oh, sorry. Can't lose to the Raptors. You can't lose to the Cavs. Oh, wait. You can't lose to Miami.
Honestly,
Miami.
Exactly. That's the first issue. Like Atlanta is gonna be a crazy.
Honestly, the one that's more realistic, even though I don't even think they could beat them, is the Bulls. The Bulls is the game where I'm like, you may have a chance, but you probably don't.
Damn.
And then they're gonna lose some stupid game to like even with the easiest opponents where they say is like the Magic. I'm like, just chalk that one up to Snell, man. I can't take this team anymore. That's really how I feel because they're gonna make a game out of the Pistons, the Wizards, and the Hawks. Actually, I feel like we should beat. But
all right, listen, we have 11 games left. What's our record in these 11 games?
Oh man, predict us getting 4 wins.
All right. I want 8 wins, but I'll middle out. I'll go with 6.
Okay. Greg, are you here, man?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm laughing the whole time listening to
I want 8.
The pause after you said 4 was just laugh out loud funny. All right.
Oh man, Greg, what do you got for the next
4? Like it means if you split the Atlanta Charlotte, like you said, that means there's only 3 wins left. And we play like for another 2-3 weeks, bro. Oh my god. I think I'm like in those games like Orlando, Detroit. Like we're not gonna.
Here's the thing though. We've seen this team not beat teams that they should be beating.
I know, but like this is a tough proposition for me. And that's it. We're gonna see like 2 more wins for the rest of the year.
Your face. I can't wait. People gotta watch the YouTube video if you're at this point. If you're at this point of the podcast, salute to you. Thank you for staying in tune with us. But John's face right there, where you just see like 4.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I'm falling more in Alex's camp. I think we got 4 or 5 maybe left in us.
Yeah.
Just
5.
Yeah.
Oh, rich for my board.
Yeah. I want 8.
Yeah, I'm not insane. This is also the same guy who was out here promoting Vermont, so I'm not surprised.
Oh my god!
Yeah, that was disgusting. That was disgusting.
You're gonna hate on me for Vermont. Oh,
dude, we are Albany alum. How dare you?
Shout out Peter Hooley. Vermont. Peter Hooley for life.
For life.
For life. Peter Hooley. You name me another college basketball team that takes 2 brothers from Australia and their cousin and hoops for an entire season. You tell me.
You name me another one that kicks the other team out of the whole conference. Stony Brook's out of the whole damn conference because of Albany. Let's go. It's our conference / Vermont.
Yeah, let's go. Yeah, what the fuck is what's a sea wolf, man? I've never seen a sea wolf in my life. Binghamton's a Bearcat. At least I know what that is. Seeing that around.
Yeah. Shout out to Vermont.
How dare you? How dare you? Well, on that note, I think this is a good place to end. Man. This season, man. This season.
I see 11 more wins coming. I don't know about you.
You what?
11-0, baby. Let's go.
Going 11-0.
No losses until next
Greg,
season.
is this man a crazy person?
Always. He always is. That's why I love him, though. He's always an eternal optimist, always talking crazy, but sometimes it comes true.
6 wins, baby. Give me at least 6 wins here. That's our bottom. That's our floor.
That's our floor. He says
6 and 5. Yeah, dude. 6 and 5 is our floor, bro. Give me a freaking break. If we're not gonna go 500 in the playoff push, I'm gonna go nuts. Yes, 6 and 5 is the floor. Yes. Like I'm not gonna
play and push. Get it right. Play and push, not playoff push. Play and push.
I'm just like that. That's asking for a lot, dude. We should get 8. It should be 8 and 3 if you want to like have a shot.
We should be. Yes, I agree with you. In theory, this team should be. But we've watched this team throughout an entire season, John.
It's like this is like the Jets. Whenever I say like 12 and 4, it becomes 4 and 12. So honestly, at this point, like we're gonna go 3 and 8. I totally see it.
You are still very early into your 30s. Wait until the salty New York sports fandom comes out, man. Dude, I'm telling you.
Honestly, man, listen, I know I'm young, so I haven't like experienced in real time, the agony of maybe the Kotite Jets or the Carroll Jets. Like I wasn't like, or I wasn't there for whatever it is, like the Larry Brown Knicks. I wasn't like an old guy. The Lenny Wilkins Knicks. I'm with you, but dude, I felt the pain. I have endured that pain. Like I have felt all of it with the freaking Jets and the damn Knicks, bro. Like if I like Malik Rose lineups and Alexei Shved, like I've seen it all, man. David Lee was my champion for like 6 years. Like I've been through hell with these 2 teams.
But
man.
have you been through hell unless you have you been through hell unless you watched Rick Pitino's New York Knicks? I haven't got to watch that, so I can't say I have.
Yeah, I mean, like, dude, like we're talking about Jalen Brunson, like it's all about remember Rick Brunson. That's why we like him so much because Papa Brunson. We're watching him, and we thought he was the champion. He stunk. He's just like chilling. I don't know. I'm still sticking with I need 6 and 5 here to end the season, at least over 500. But come on, dude, give me 8. Like you can't lose to Atlanta, Charlotte. You can't lose to Orlando. You can't lose to Detroit. Have some balls, beat Brooklyn. That's it. Toronto's gonna go to sleep the last game of the season. They're gonna bench their players. Not gonna need the game. Washington sucks. Break KP's legs. Call it a day.
They're winning 4 games, John. I hate to tell you.
I'm aware. I'm aware.
And on that note, thank you everyone for tuning in for another Knicks episode of the Knicks Jets Etc. podcast. If you're looking for eternal optimism, someone to walk with you on the beach and just, make your days seem sunny and sunshine and rainbows, John Meleka is here for you. So make sure to hit him up. His number, no, I'm not giving you his number. Come on now, guys. But thank you for tuning in for another Knicks episode of the Knicks Jets Etc. podcast. You know what to do. Make sure to subscribe to this podcast if you haven't done so already. We're on Apple, Spotify, Google Play, Amazon, Alexa, Stitcher, you name it. We are there. If you listen to us on Apple or Spotify, please make sure to give us a 5-star rating. And if you listen to us on Apple Podcasts, please make sure to leave a comment. That just helps us out. We're on YouTube now. So make sure to type in Knicks Jets Etc. That's Knicks, Jets, etc. period. Find the page. Subscribe, hit that notification bell. That way, you know when a new episode drops. When you watch a video, hit the like button, leave us a comment. We'll always interact. Like I said, we got Cam Reddish talks. All right. Go make sure to check out that clip right there. It's on TikTok too. Don't worry, I'm getting to the social media later. But while you're at the YouTube page, make sure to check out Winning Picks Weekly. John, video producer Greg, go down, usually the NFL slate. They'll give you some NBA takes, whether it's on TNT, ESPN, ABC, all right, NBA TV. No matter where, when, they'll give you their takes. But don't worry, they're also doing March Madness. They're coming back. They're coming back to do it again. They're coming back to redo their brackets, to give you the takes, money line, spreads, overs, unders, you name it. They got you there.
Could I just say one thing? We have some little breaking news here.
Sure.
Regarding a former Knick.
Uh-oh.
Jamal Crawford officially calling it quits.
Thank you. I like that.
I love Jamal Crawford, man.
I love Jamal Crawford. Not that I like that he's retiring. I like that you brought that up because I wish I did bring that up earlier because Jamal Crawford is one of my favorite Knicks. And I loved when he was on that team with Nate Robinson. He had Stephon Marbury because just him alone, dude. Jay Crossover, his handles, the way he could shoot the ball, just his creativity on the court is just, my God, it just makes you fall in love with the game of basketball. Him and Lou Williams, maybe you just got to name it after both of them for being like just 6 men of the year, like all freaking time, because they're just some of the best 6 men we've ever got to watch play this game. But shout out to Jamal Crawford, Jay Crossover for such a phenomenal career. And now, last and certainly not least, please make sure to follow us on all social media platforms. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, you name it. We are there. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in for another Knicks episode
Wait,
of the
one more thing.
Podcast. One more
thing.
Uh-oh.
Email from the Knicks season tickets. Should the Knicks not qualify for the first round of the 22 NBA playoffs, the membership pricing will remain unchanged for the 21-22 rate. So now we got to tank so we don't have to pay more money next year? Is that what you're telling right now?
It's how it's always been.
Are the Knicks team tank? Are the Knicks team tank right now? That's an interesting email. But anyway, sorry, that just pulled up on my screen while we were talking, so I had to read it out loud. Are the Knicks team tank? Or do they want the Knicks to make the playoffs so they can pay more money?
Yeah, of course they want to make raise the prices.
That's so interesting. I never heard of anything like that. The
Jets
Jets
been doing that for a while, apparently.
Well, dude, the construction around, I mean, we are off the rails, but the construction around the Garden is insane. Like I can't even see the Garden anymore. Like right now, like when I drive back, you had no idea it's Madison Square Garden. It's just like black and like it's the traffic is crazy. But the thing is, Dolan pays for it, right? You see that the issue with Buffalo is us as New York taxpayers, we're paying for that new stadium up in the Buffalo Bills. And
you're welcome, Buffalo.
James Dolan, he doesn't get a dime from the city for his renovations. However, he does get a tax break. So little politics 101 in sports. Shout out Andrew Brandt, Business and Sports. One of my favorite podcasts.
There you go. And that's why I listen to John. Gives you all those updates.
Andrew Brandt, my boy. He was wrong about Aaron Rodgers, though. Sorry, Brandt.
We are completely off the rails. We are completely off the rails. Thank you, everyone.
Brent was wrong. They were wrong.
Oh my goodness, this is what the New York Knicks do to you at the end of a podcast. But thank you, everyone, for tuning in for another Knicks episode of the Knicks Jets Etc. podcast. We'll catch you later this week. We out.
Shefty was wrong, Alex.